Our view of sexuality makes no sense because at one moment we like to hold that shit on a pedestal and another we treat it like it's the most sinful thing a human could do. Like, is consensual sex between adults good or bad? Make up your mind. And another one is our treatment of sex workers. Like, it's an oxymoron to disapprove of sex but in the same breath stroke it to pornography and act like our ancestors didn't go to brothels. Like, I know there's this whole thing with pornography and sex addiction and stuff, but like, the sex workers aren't responsible for your addiction. Like, are you gonna get mad at a fast food employee because you can't control yourself and weren't aware that you had an addictive personality? Like, it just boils down to having a healthy relationship with high dopamine activities. But yeah, society's view of sex is inconsistent as hell. Like, we see it as a high honor and something to strive for, but also as something to be ashamed of. Like, despite it literally being just a normal thing mammals do that for some reason we give social value to. Like, maybe it's just a tism in me, but sex isn't that deep. It's simply just an activity animals do for reproduction, pleasure, and romantic attraction. Anything else you add to it is based on your subjective and cultural values that you pretend are objective. And I know there's just a whole, but what about human nature argument, and my response to that is, there's a reason human nature is considered a philosophical concept and not a scientific concept, because it's a subjective concept. The reason I made this video is because it is one video from Midas that contains an understandable but dumb take.
Call me a bitch, call me frigid, call me stiff.
No one's gonna call you any of those things.
But I think male or female.
Okay, first off, can we just stop doing this? We all know you don't give a fuck about male promiscuity, and we know you clearly have a double standard.
If you have over a 5-person body count, you're a whore, and that shouldn't be celebrated.
But like, what's so bad about that? Like, first off, people have been glorifying sex for years, so that's nothing new. And secondly, men have been doing this exact thing for years, and the only reason you have a problem with it now is because the opposite sex is doing it and you're personally uncomfortable with the idea of that. And lastly, I agree with that. It is not feminist, nor is it dehumanizing. It is a neutral activity humans partake in.
I've been seeing on social media the absolute glorification of women sleeping around as much as humanly possible and then trying to settle down in their 30s. That is not as feminist as you guys like to pretend it is. It really isn't. Because all that does is that it degrades you. But instead of it being random guys degrading whores, now it's random guys are going to be degrading everybody. And it's your fault specifically. And I know that you'll jump to say that no, it's all men. No, it's all men degrading us specifically. It's like, and why are they degrading you? Is it because of your actions?
Midas, you are aware that this is the same logic people use when they claim that the reason men sexually assault women is because they're wearing skimpy clothing. And this is harmful to both men and women because what are you implying about men? That we're all sex-crazed maniacs who can't see women as people? If I learn that a person has a double-digit body count, I'm not gonna see that person as lesser. Like, if someone determines your value based on your sex life, then that says a lot about how that person views sex. If you truly view women as people, then their sexual expression shouldn't matter.
Collectively, be for fucking real. You know what? There's cases where maybe you don't choose, you have forced intercourse with a person, or maybe two people. You're in a really bad situation. But nobody is forcing you to have sex with, let's say, 100 men.
Oh, so that's what this is about. Yes, you're just uncomfortable with women having sex.
Or, 100 people. Let's keep things equitable here. You could be fucking anybody. Having a body count in the double digits is actually, in the truest sense of the word, degenerate.
Well, Midas, I have a question for you. What's the difference between having sex with one person 100 times and having sex with 100 different people? Or better yet, what's the difference between using a toy 100 different times versus having sex with 100 different people? Nothing. Your body responds the same way.
And I hear you all say, well, you don't deserve to have an opinion because your body count is 0. I have no value in the eyes of the world because of you people with body counts in the triple digits. I'm sorry. I get to have an opinion.
Your value isn't determined by your body count, it's determined by the contents of your character and your contribution to society. The reason you're probably lonely is because you're unapproachable, non-sociable, don't go outside, don't speak to anyone outside of your immediate family, and you're terminally online. The solution to loneliness is to experience life. Society isn't to blame for your lack of value, women aren't to blame, men aren't to blame, it's the face in the mirror.
Maybe you don't agree with it. Maybe you think it's the wrong one, but I still get to have it.
You know what? You're right. You do get to have an opinion. And I get to take that opinion and throw it in the short bus because it is fucking retarded. I would also like to point out that this isn't an attack on Midas, it's simply criticizing a dumb take. The beauty of On My Mind content is that you can agree with someone in one video and call them stupid in another video and still respect them for giving their unfiltered and honest opinion. Like, it's not something you should take too seriously or invade Alaska over, because at the end of the day, it's just human expression. But seriously though, this video feels like something an angry high schooler would make.
I hope next time you're in a dark fucking alleyway, a 6'7" black man, 350 pounds, pure muscle, 99% fucking muscle, 1% body fat, with a 14-inch cock bends you the fuck over, slams you through the fucking wall, and